dispute some of my opponent's advantages, I'd like to review my two main advantages. My first one being that it causes bullying, and we've seen this throughout time. Teens bullying other teens anonymously through social media sites, which has caused, has even caused suicide. You see and it's happened numerous times. And the second main advantage is that it diminishes freedom, and diminishes freedom, and this causes because it discourages dialogue. And the way it discourages dialogue is when you're being anonymous on the internet, you're not being yourself. You don't have to. You're not accountable. You don't present an actual argument. You're just spewing. You're not going to engage in dialogue with the person because you don't care what they're saying. You're just saying what you say. You're saying your opinion is going to be hateful, and you just go out there, and that's how that discourages dialogue, and it encourages cyber terrorism because with cyber terrorism, they can terrorize on the internet and not be caught. And cyber terrorism becomes so big that even Barack Obama has appointed a 4-star general to head up it, to basically head up the investigation of it, or the department of now the cyber terrorism department. And even the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, all the top government agencies have said cyber terrorism is one of the most biggest threats against the United States. I mean everything we do is online now. It's so huge that a cyber attack could, bring down the Eastern Seaboard. Now I'd like to refute some of my opponent's main points. She went over that. She said that how it's not so much being anonymous that diminishes ability to emphasize, but she says it's being the digital world itself. And while I agree that the foundation, digital world creates a foundation for maybe not being able to emphasize, when you're face to face with someone, you do emphasize. Just think about like Skype. The video chat we're doing now. When you Skype with someone, you can talk and see them. Skyping and video chatting has become so huge. So now more and more, if you're just chatting online and you know the person and they're not anonymous, you do have that ability to emphasize. You can see their reaction if they feel sad, happy, angry, whatever. When you're being anonymous, you don't have that. And so really, being anonymous is the only last kind of gate of wiping away the lack of empathy that the digital age has caused. And when you're being anonymous, you don't feel empathy because you don't even care who they are. You're just an anonymous person saying hateful things to that person simply because they're anonymous and you can. And that's kind of what that does. And then she also said that if no one's anonymous, people withhold valuable information, which is not necessarily true. We see it all the time. People come forward with information. Edward Snowden came out and said the NSA is doing this, and he didn't do it anonymously, and he came out in person. And if he hadn't done that, people probably wouldn't have taken it seriously. They would have maybe rejected it because they don't have a source. And he came out there knowing the risk, and that risk, he had to fled the United States or be prosecuted. And we see this all the time. News sources, they need them to come out because if someone's anonymous, it just takes away from it because how do you know this person is real? And people doubt that argument, and that's the problem. And a third point she brought up is their online selves react or are like their outside selves, and they try to be the same. And she brought up internet dating. That's exactly what it is. It's internet dating. And so obviously, if someone's going to be more likable on that personality, where they're trying to seek a relationship, and they know that they're going to try to talk to that person, not just on the internet, but in person. So really, it doesn't have that relevance to this argument. So I've shown that there are much more advantages than disadvantages for you just not being allowed to be anonymous on the internet. Thank you.